important thing to remember about cooking meat is that there are no guarantees. No matter what a recipe tells you, or a theory like searing seals in the juices, there's no substitute for checking the doneness yourself early and often. One trick for heating a pan up to a good high temperature for searing is to cover it with a piece of aluminum foil. The foil reflects the escaping heat back onto the pan surface and it heats up much faster. It's important to let the pan heat up long enough, not only just to get hot, but for that heat to even out. And then it's time to put on the meat. It helps to push down on the meat as it's cooking to increase the contact between the meat surface and the pan surface, which is going to get that browning, that searing going even faster and more evenly, because some parts will shrink away from the surface and those parts won't get as brown as the rest. Searing meat actually makes it more likely that you're going to end up with a less juicy piece of meat because it's a very high temperature process. So searing a piece of meat is a good idea, not because it seals in the juices, but because it creates great flavor. That's the reason to sear meat. At this point, I'm going to move the meat from the stovetop to the oven. We do want to cook the outside of the meat at a high temperature to get that flavor development, but then we want to slow the cooking down so that as the meat cooks through, it doesn't cook through too quickly. We're trying to hit a very narrow range of temperatures inside that piece of meat, between maybe 130 and 150 degrees. The steak is done about now. We can take it out. It's been well seared on both sides. Still has moisture, still has juiciness, that wonderful succulent flavor, the kind of thing you can only get from a piece of meat that's been properly cooked.